Good morning, church. So good to be with you. Today we are looking at the topic of friendships. The findings from a survey on the state of American friendship came out recently. Listen to some of the findings. Signs suggest that the role of friends in American social life is experiencing a pronounced decline. And then listen to this. Americans report having fewer close friendships than they once did, talking to their friends less often, and relying less on their friends for personal support. And then listen to some statistics here. Nearly half of Americans report having lost touch with at least a few friends over the past 12 months. Nearly 1 in 10 Americans report having lost touch with most of their friends. The results are not surprising, considering that this survey was conducted during this once-in-a-lifetime global pandemic. Not surprising, but alarming nonetheless. We all know the importance of true friendships. In fact, movies, TV shows, and fictional characters mirror the longing of our hearts for true friendship. Consider this. Batman had Robin. Mario had Luigi. The Lone Ranger had Tonto. Frodo Baggins had Samwise Gamgee. Han Solo had Chewbacca. Winnie the Pooh had Piglet. Fred Flintstone had Barney Rubble. Maverick had Goose. Shrek had Donkey. Sherlock Holmes had Dr. Watson. Dorothy had the Lion, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow. We see these friendships on the big screen, and our hearts long for such true friendships. The neat thing is that in the very beginning, when God created humankind, He wired us for friendship. It's in our DNA. It's who we are. In Genesis chapter 2, God created the first human being, named him Adam. And then God put Adam in the Garden of Eden to take care of it. And then God steps back and he makes this observation. Listen carefully to what God says in Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. He says this: "It is not good for the man to be alone." It is not good for the man to be alone. And so God creates Eve. It is not good for man to be alone. Why? Well, one of the reasons is because life is hard. The struggle is real. In life, we will experience seasons of pain, brokenness, loneliness, seasons when we feel like we're tired, feel restless and angry and depressed and empty and worried. And some of us will try to go through these seasons alone. We'll try to carry this heavy weight alone. And the Bible says, don't do it. Don't go through these seasons alone. Don't carry this heavy weight alone. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9 and 10 says this. This is King Solomon speaking. And King Solomon is said to be one of the wisest, if not the wisest king in all the earth. And he says this, listen carefully. He says, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, One will lift up his companion. But woe to him who is alone when he falls, for he has no one to help him up. We need one another. We need friends. We need true friends. We need to cultivate true friendships. J.C. Ryle, the late Bishop of Liverpool, says it this way. Listen carefully. This world is full of sorrow because it is full of sin. It is a dark place. It is a lonely place. It is a disappointing place. The brightest sunbeam in it is a friend. Friendship halves our sorrows and doubles our joys. We need one another. We need friends. We need true friends. We need to cultivate true friendships. In the movie The Lord of the Rings, one of my favorite characters is Samwise Gamgee. In the beginning of the story, Samwise Gamgee is Frodo Baggins' gardener. And Sam is drawn into Frodo's adventure by Gandalf while eavesdropping on a private conversation. And throughout the movie, Sam is Frodo's steadfast friend. Sam is physically strong. Sam is emotionally strong. And Sam is often pushing Frodo through some of the most difficult parts of the journey. And sometimes Sam is even physically carrying Frodo when Frodo is too weak to go on. Here's a clip of one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. Take a look at this.
I wish the ring had never come to me. I wish none of this had happened.
So do all who live to see such times, but that is not for them to decide. All you have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to you.
No, Sam.
Go back, Sam! I'm going to Mordor alone.
Of course you are. And I'm coming with you!
You can't swim! Sam! Sam! I made a promise, Mr. Frodo. A promise. Don't you leave him, Samwise Gamgee. And I don't mean to. I don't mean to.
Oh, Sam.
Come on.
There will be days in life when we are feeling discouraged, when we're feeling like we've had enough, when we are feeling like we want to throw in the towel. And it's in those days when we will need a Samwise Gamgee in our lives. A Samwise Gamgee that looks us in the eye and says, I made a promise, Mr. Frodo. A promise. Don't you leave him, Samwise Gamgee. And I don't mean to. I don't mean to. Do you have a Samwise Gamgee in your life? And then, an equally important question is this. Are you a Samwise Gamgee in someone else's life? Maybe there's a friend that you haven't connected with in a long time. And maybe they are out there right now and they're discouraged. They're feeling like they've had enough. They want to throw in the towel. And maybe they need you to be to them a Samwise Gamgee in their lives right now. Are you a Samwise Gamgee to someone else in their lives? Church, what next steps can you take in the days and weeks ahead to cultivate true friendships? Maybe identify a few individuals and invite them over for dinner and then see what that leads to. Maybe reconnect with a friend that you've lost touch with. Maybe surprise a friend by doing something unexpected that will bring a smile to their face, that will cheer them on, that will encourage them to keep on keeping on. Thanks for tuning in. God bless you and God bless your family.